Hi everybody. I thought it might be a good idea if I came on to my channel and introduced myself, because I think there are a few people who haven't been following me for a long time and perhaps don't know much about my story and how I came to have a YouTube channel. So today, here I am. I've always journaled. I've always poured my heart and soul out into my journals and written about anything and everything that was going on in my life and helped sort my brain out when things were tricky. And over the time too, more recently, I've actually got rid of some of them, and probably will get rid of all of them really, because a lot of it I wrote when things were a bit tough, and I don't want my children to have to wade through all of that and find out some of the things that I was worrying about at the time. Anyway, I digress. Then my husband was really ill a couple of years ago, and I found writing poetry helped me so much more than just writing it out in a journal. Somehow putting it into a poetic form meant I was actually writing from my heart, and it was much more cathartic, much more helpful for what I was going through, because I was actually very frightened, very scared of what might have been happening. Didn't, and he's pretty well, so we got through that. I live in a country town with my husband. We've been together for over 35 years. I never can remember exactly. I know when we got married, but we were together for a few years before that. So it's our second marriage. I've got 4 children. He's got 3. We're a step family. Things are not always hunky-dory, but basically we adore each other and have our backs for each other, and we ride through any storms that we do have, and have a lot of fun with some of the family as well. Do love them all. Do love them all so much, but families, sometimes there are problems, and it's how we deal with them. So we came here just as the first lockdown started, and I grew up here out in the country on a farm, so I was a farm girl, and then went to Melbourne for boarding school, and then became a teacher down there, then married, and eventually we moved and went down to a farm near Geelong, and eventually we separated, and I have my 4 beautiful children thanks to that marriage, and did a lot of learning, I think, as he did too. And then I was lucky enough to meet my husband through school, through the children, and that I was so lucky and so blessed to meet up with him. And he'd lost his wife in a car accident some years before. So we sort of, I suppose, almost rescued each other, but we've grown together, and we are both on a path of learning. So I'm 83 and he turns 80 this year. He can't believe that he's turning 80, but he's terrific. And we live with our little dog, who's a cavoodle called Benny. He's a fluff ball, looks like a lamb, just not a lamb. He's very much poodle, apart from the cavoodle, the cavalier, shifty eyes and the long flappy ears. So otherwise he's pure poodle, I think, and very funny. So we love him to bits, and he brings life into our life. He brings light into our family, I'd say. So I started the channel. I've written reams of poems, because it's often one every day, and then sometimes I might go 2 or 3 days without one. And we're just tossing up about whether to publish them in a book, but it all seemed so difficult for me, and it was really too much for me. And then I had a tarot reading, and the girl, the tarot chick, suggested that I have a channel, and we went with it. My husband thought it was a wonderful idea, and we happened to have a grandson coming to stay with us, and he set me up with all the basic equipment that I had at the time, just a little microphone that I clipped onto me and clipped into my iPhone. So very basic. In fact, I really think that just recording straight onto the phone is pretty good. And yesterday I bought another little desktop thing that I'm actually recording with now, really trying to get better light. And I've been looking for a good spot to record in the house and keep on finding something that's nearly okay. And then I'm now in our little sitting room that really we never use, so I can set myself up on the table that's here, and here I am, and the afternoon light streams in, so I've got plenty of light from that as well. But it is reflecting a bit on my glasses. I have to remember to look down, I think, not look up, because then there's the reflection on my glasses. I've really enjoyed this journey into recording my poems, having my waffle chats where I just talk about anything and everything. But the poems really are come from living my life as an older person. You know, we all think we're never going to get there. You know, when you're young, you look at the oldies and you think, oh, you know, well, you don't even think that you'll be there. But I feel so blessed, really blessed, to think that I'm still here. I might have a body that hurts and my mobility isn't amazing, but I'm here, and I haven't, you know, my heart's good, my body's healthy, apart from the arthritis and the degeneration that comes with some people with their bones, and which is a pain, literally a pain. And but apart from that, I'm really well, and I walk with the walker. Haven't liked giving into it, but I had a hip operation recently and I thought that was going to improve my walking, but in fact it hasn't. So I do have a problem with my lower back. I put it all down to having a fall from quite a tall horse when I was about 15. Landed flat on my back, and of course what do you do as a farmer's daughter? You climb back up on the horse. In fact, I don't think I ever told anyone. I had a friend with me, but I don't think we told my parents. So I think a lot of my problem with my back stems from that. But I can walk with a walker, and so that's okay. What else can I tell you about me? I was a teacher. When I left school, I went to Teachers College, taught grade 4 children, and I enjoyed that. And then my first marriage, my husband was away a lot, and I really couldn't cope with teaching and coming home and looking after the children, so I didn't. So I think I'm one of the last of the generations that was able to stay at home with my children when they needed me, and I'm forever grateful for that, because the best time of the day when my children were at school was when they came in the door. They'd come in and sit down and we'd talk, and I learnt more in that half hour, and that was a privilege to have had that. So I was very lucky, very lucky. And yeah, where we are now, it's where I grew up. I grew up out on a farm, but this was my local town, and I've got lots of family that have lived there. You know, my great-grandparents built their house 10 minutes away in the car from here when they retired. Cousins, my mother lived in here when she retired. Lots of family, and I have one daughter here, so that's like lovely, because one daughter's in New Zealand and I miss her, and one's in Melbourne, I miss her, and my son's in Perth, and yeah, so I'm lucky to have them all, and really, but my daughter who lives here works full time, so I don't see a lot of her either, but she is there. Got wonderful neighbours, and that's such a bonus too. I have one lovely neighbour directly next door who's early 50s, and she comes in once a week and we sit there and knit together, And that's lovely to think that she still wants to do that. She's like a breath of fresh air coming in too. And what else would you like to know? I'm just so grateful to have this channel going and have friends all over the world, really. And I love the comments. I love the fact that some of you comment on each other's. That's wonderful too. So I knit a lot. Knit jumpers through the winter and through the summer when it's been hot. I've been just knitting scarves because they're light on my knee. I don't like the summer, don't like the heat. I say that I'm a delicate English rose. It wilts in the summer, but in fact I'm not. I'm pure Aussie, but English background some generations ago, 5 generations ago, but I don't really think that's got a lot to do with it. I just don't enjoy the heat, so I do really hibernate through the summer, through those hot days, and we've had a very hot summer. And winter time, I do like it when it's all cozy and tucked in, and yeah, it's good. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this chat about me. It's quite long. I don't normally do a long recording like this, but I just thought maybe it might be good for some people who haven't known who I am, haven't known why I set up this channel. I encourage you to all set up a channel. One of my grandsons said, "Granny, it's so good because my children will get to know you, my grandchildren will get to know you, because if YouTube keeps going, so will these videos. They'll be there forever." I encourage you to always, if you like one of my videos, I encourage you to like them, because I gather that the algorithms like lots of likes on a channel, and I'd love it to spread out to more people, because I think it might help lots more people, not in a do-gooder way. I just feel that because I'm able to talk about who I am, as I say, my warts and all, that it might encourage other people to also be able to talk about how they're really feeling inside, because old age is challenging. So if you can gain something from it, that's great. But if you can spread the word so other people perhaps can learn, and as I say, the more comments and the more likes that you give me, if you like it, and I'm open for criticism as well. I'm not perfect. I am a work in progress, and I always say that. And if I, if I learn something, well, I'll try and pass it on as well. So I have my times when it's a waffle chat, when I just chat about anything, or I'm outside and the birds are lovely, I'll write about that. Anyway, I think it's 13 minutes. I don't think I've ever made such a long one. So I hope you enjoy it. And really, it's a privilege in my life to have you in my life. So thank you, and God bless.